Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to NFT Live on the Web3 Network. We're going to take you around the NFT and Web3 industry in just about an hour's time. Or should I say attempt, because it's just getting harder and harder to do each day. I'm back in the saddle. It's been about 24 hours since I've jumped back in to the Matrix. Huda has been getting after it on his end, and we have Ronin, the collector, of course, in today as well. My old friend, the OG himself. We are also going to be talking with Offhand, and his No Use collection is going to be highlighted here early in the episode. So that's coming up shortly. Let's go around the try box here. Ronin the collector, my friend. How you doing?
Man. Good, dude. I hope everybody had a good holiday. I am excited to be back and hanging out with you guys and ready for a conversation. We were just talking before we went back live how hard it is to kind of get back in the saddle. And you take a week off, that's tough. For me, it's like I take multiple weeks off between times coming back. It's
not even the same space.
Yeah, exactly. So it's always fun to come back and have a really good conversation. I'm really looking forward to it. Also looking forward to having Offhand on today.
All right, before we start, what's happening with the projector behind you? We don't get an NFT today? We don't get any. Do I have to shut down the show?
So if you've noticed, it's a little smaller than before. It's because I finally had to just take the token proof completely down, dude. Token proof, not great customer service. It stopped working for me months ago. Their mantra is we're working on it and there's an update coming soon, but that's been kind of the case for like everything, including like they were supposed to have Tezos, which I've got a huge Tezos collection, man. They're supposed to have Tezos implemented last year, and like I asked about it and they still haven't done it. The people who bought like the first wave of token frames were supposed to get some like NFT membership that was supposed to be part of like this like partnership they were going to work out with artists, and you were supposed to get, special pieces of art that you can display because you were a token frame holder. Nobody's seen that NFT or any partnerships have been, so now I've got my atomic frame up and I like the atomic frame. The only issue is that some of the NFTs that I tried to cast to it don't want to cast properly, so I was having issues. So I don't know. While we're talking at one point, I might try to plug it in and get it moving again, but we'll see.
What I heard was we're early. That's all I heard from that.
It's crazy. I would have thought like, I've had the token frame and the atomic frame for over a year now, each of them. And dude, they still have like some just like base layer bug stuff that I'm just very like surprised I'm dealing with, like it doesn't like the atomic frame. It doesn't want to display half of the stuff in my wallet.
Dude, I've been wondering this for such a long time, and I'm not shitting on anyone. How hard is it to make frames? Like to put a JPEG on it? Is it the wallet connectivity that's throwing it for a loop, or all the different file types? It's really, really weird. But I spent some time looking into these before, and token frame we gave out in our Crypto Bats Discord at one point. I thought those were pretty solid, and at the same time, I'm not surprised to hear that there's issues with it, and the support may be kind of lacking. Kind of a bummer to hear, though, man.
Yeah, I'm sad. I'm a huge supporter of like everybody who's trying to do cool stuff, and these are obviously two early movers and shakers in the display, space. And unfortunately, they've just the product itself, I just think is not quite there. And I do think there's got to be some really difficult issues when it comes to programming and development and trying to like access your wallet and make sure that like you're displaying maybe current information and animations. And the issue with the token frame that I also deal with is even if it does display an NFT, sometimes it doesn't it's like it downloads it, but then every 5 cycles, because I had it set to like a slideshow, it would randomly stop and like say it's downloading all the NFTs again. Oh, wow. And so like, randomly, and I'll try to turn it on while we're hanging out, but you'll see.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to get to the comments here. You guys are already loading it up. I've got Randy Prim, Crypto Buffalo himself. Well, I'm going to get to you, sir, here in just a moment, but let's go to Huda, our other co-host up here on Wednesday, December 27th. Huda, nice to see you, the finest looking man in the biz these days.
Oh, appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's good to see you both too here and everybody out here watching. Man, my head's spinning today, and I didn't realize how much it was spinning till my girls told me it was Wednesday. And all morning I thought it was Thursday. I've been gearing up for the weekend, like getting excited for that. Dude, like since this morning, and so you've seen in my Discord, like people have been shouting about these new like X20 tokens. I think that's what they're called. Yeah. Again, just like spinning. I can't make sense of what's happening and what's what. Feels good to be degenning into something I don't understand at all. It's usually a good sign that things are kind of cool right now. But again, I'm ready to settle down a bit and get into the show and just casually chat about stuff.
All right, love it. Well, we're going to do a little bit of that. Yeah, those XR20s are interesting, man. I mean, right before we went live, starting to see it all over my timeline. Looks to be something that's just dropping today. I'll say this, like in the space like Huda is talking about that is so fast, so quick moving, it's crazy to be sitting up here with Ronin the Collector and have Crypto Buffalo in the chat. I mean, that's just a level of consistency, a level of like provenance that doesn't exist a lot of times in this space. So it's really cool to have both of you here. Sarah Script saying, Ronin, Nox Darkness, OVOT. I hope you all had a great Christmas. Offhand is in the comments section. Let's get you in the green room here, sir. DP saying, what's good, bros? What's up, Ronin? Mike Erlinson, GM. Easy and Crypto will be joining us afterwards, and Nick Swervis and Christian Jensen. So Nick is saying, here for the financial advice. And Marty's zingers. And usually we have Gifted up here to explain that we are not financial advisors. He has a great diatribe about how we are just not giving out financial advice. But yes, we do not give out any investment advice. Do not take it as such. Do your own research. All of that good stuff. Guys, I'm going to get us started here on today's episode. We might as well jump in to the biggest piece of news of the day, at least like breaking news. This is XRC20s, the first inscription token on Twitter. We have
Twitter
what the hell is Twitter Chain?
What's Twitter Chain?
This is incredible. My goodness.
Okay, so our original X account Twitscription was suspended. Well, so we already have the main account that created this project suspended on X. So this is going to go over well. Due to overwhelming quotes and mentions, follow our new X account. What I'm hearing from you, Huda, and we were talking about this here in the Idiots Discord, is essentially you can launch a token in a very socialify manner, right? You can basically connect your X account and you can launch a token on the Is it Arbitrum?
I'm like 90% sure it's Arbitrum. It makes you connect your wallet, makes you connect your Twitter account. But yeah, just you put in a ticker that you want to mint, you click deploy, and it generates a tweet for you. You send it, and boom, all of a sudden you've got a token that you've just launched. And again, I'm pretty sure it's Arbitrum. So like the ease of use is incredible. Like I've been researching just starting last night how to launch an SPL 20. It's going to take a few hours. This took all of a minute. I mean, really, really interesting tech.
Yeah, wow. Sarah's doing a good job of explaining that Twitter doesn't actually exist. So this is actually X. So, I mean, right on face value, this looks like SocialFi, right? This very much looks like Elon Musk. You've got Grok. You've got Doge. You've got Pepe. So, like, these are all tokens that are being created from social profiles. There's 20,000 transactions on the XR20. I'm not sure how the token prices look. Guys, we're jumping into this for the first time. I mean,
I don't think they're actually even minted yet where you could, trade them or see prices for these. So yeah, I think we're there.
You're right. Marketplace soon up here. You can't even click into it.
But I mean, without fail, you could just assume that some of these will be hot. Some of them, like there was an X token and a Twitter token. Both of those were gone really fast, like almost in an instant. I think I saw Orty there, and that was maybe next to go. Some of them will do fine just because, right? Someone's going to pump and dump these things, and maybe some of them will get legs. And again, in my Discord, we did a token there too because we've always wanted one. Now the easiest way to launch a token, it seems. Some of these will be cool.
Diving in a little bit more, you can see at least on this first post that you're able to create this token basically by tweeting out, just by posting an image or I guess a snippet of code along with the token ticker. So yeah, we're kind of following this live. Biggie Poppins we've been having trouble with his connection here. He is on the road, so Biggie, I don't know if we can get you, but how you doing, sir?
Dude, I am doing fantastic. Can you guys hear me?
Is that your car?
Yeah, I just drove over here real quick. No, I'm kidding. This is not my car.
Drove into the mall.
Like it'd be a nice one, right? No, I just came back to the hotel real quick, and they have these really nice. They have a Rolls over here, and this Mustang. I'll take the Mustang for my taste. But you guys can hear me now, huh? Dude, yeah. I was just listening to what you were talking about. XRC20s. Easy way to dude, this is insane.
Yeah, they're cool. And by the way, you don't just deploy them this way, you mint them this way too. So once it's deployed, you can go on that same website, you can mint the token too by just tweeting about it, and that's how you claim your own part of that supply.
That is crazy, man. So in other words, we're gonna have like a tsunami of tokens
Yes.
coming.
A tsunami of
Ultimate
tokens.
shit coin season.
Exactly, but also like an endless number of tweets about these, and probably a ton of suspended accounts after all these tweets. So it's gonna get wild. I think. I think today.
So I'm looking at some of this as well. So obviously launching into the app, we already kind of took you in there. There's no ability to trade these yet, but also if you go to the leaderboard on these things, so tokens, you can see that there's 20,000 transactions. So if there's no buying and selling going on, what are these transactions? Is this a claim?
That's the minting, I think. Yeah, I think that's actual claim.
So somebody else can mint X, or is this from that profile?
Now you're at this right screen. So when somebody actually deploys the collection, you still go here and you clicking mint is you claiming them, right? It's going to generate that tweet for you. You got to tweet it out, but they will then show under your account. So this is the process for you to actually go on mine the token, basically.
So mining without any cost.
Yeah, absolutely. You tweeting is
This
how you mine
reminds
them.
me a lot about try roll. Remember?
Yes, yes.
It's very try rollish. 2.0.
Do I remember?
Yeah.
All right. We're taking a look at this because it just broke. I'll try to bring up some other tweets if you guys have any. Are you guys jumping into this? I know Biggie, you're still degenning while you're off and away and touring the world. Is anybody else getting into this?
Dude, this is super interesting to me. I think like what is I don't know, what's got me excited right now in the space and why like I'm like really like back into like what's going on is because of moments like this where like really crazy just random things get launched that like can have totally crazy use cases. You know, what are people going to come up with, right? Like what I love is that like people continuously push the envelope. You know, one thing I saw over the holidays was can't remember, I don't know why my mind just went blank. His Twitter name is Redbeard NFT. I know the man's real name, but he launched a coin on Sol over the holidays where he was basically like, hey, I'm launching this meme coin. There's no point to it. I'm going to create a bunch of the supply, and then I'm going to trade you some of this coin for your art on Solana. And he had hundreds of artists saying, here, take this piece of art and give me some of, you know, whatever his coin was. I don't know why I can't think of the name right now. And it went really, really well. And then he's like, you know what, I don't know, after about 24 hours of it, he was like, okay, I'm done. I'm burning the rest of the supply and let's just see what happens to the coin. So like when people are doing stuff like that, to me, it's just like, that's what got me into it in the beginning. And that's what I think like is continuously like where I get excited is like, how can we have more fun? Right. So for this, it's like this is obviously the first time hearing about it, like getting on with you guys, but when we hop off, I'm going to do a little research and see if maybe I can come up with a fun, activation to like throw out there and get some followers involved and get people, excited about something. And I think that's why I enjoy the space so much right now.
It's a great take. I think from a direct kind of perspective, like what should you do if you're sitting at home? And again, this is not financial advice or anything like that. We're just talking as users of the platform. I mean, you're doing this for free. So essentially, if you're looking at X and you're looking at Twitter and a couple of these other popular ones, it wouldn't hurt to go out there and actually claim some of these tokens. The only negative that I can see here is potentially being suspended from X. If you get suspended from X for spam, then that might be something to take a look at.
That is definitely like a concern that I would think about. The other one is like, so are these tokens, once you claim them, they're freely tradable? You do whatever you want with them?
It doesn't.
Somebody could start like a liquidity pool or something?
It doesn't. It looks like they have a native marketplace. Like we're on their website now. It looks like the marketplace is coming soon. I haven't actually claimed any of these tokens. I know, Huda, you said you already created a token in your Discord. What are your thoughts?
Well, I guess keep in mind they're inscriptions, so they're not technically I don't think they're technically like individual tokens. I think they're those bundles. So just like those BRC20s over on Bitcoin, you can sell the bundles of them, but you're not gonna be able to swap one token for whatever, unless you break them apart and rebundle them. I wouldn't expect anything too robust yet, but to Ronan's point, it's just getting something new and cool in the hands of traders. And down the road, something cool is going to come of this all.
I think it's really cool. Like, I'm definitely down to tinkering with it. But I don't know. Like, I do have a little bit of trepidation just thinking, like you said. I mean, suspension from X would be one of those issues, and then maybe down the line, if people do start to financialize them, since they're directly tied to your name on X, like that's something that is a little bit like of a red flag for me, where it's like I don't know how much I'd want to really open it up or participate with it, but I think it's really cool, and yeah, I do want to see how much I can play around with tech and see what's possible.
All right, I'm going to do my best to share out the episode as we move on into the next topic. So if you guys can go to X over there and not do any XRTC or XRC20 action, but actually get over here and just retweet, leave a reply. I'll drop the link here in chat. That would help out the channel. If you're sitting here on YouTube, we appreciate you guys. On X, we see you as well. On Twitch, if you're watching afterwards, you guys rock. Our numbers have been doing extremely well here after the episode has been live, so you guys are always appreciated. Yeah, we're going to get into an interview here with No Use NFT. And offhand, we're going to talk about some of these layer 2s and layer 1s that are popping up. Let's get into this story real quick because it is third on this column. Froganas is almost at 10 ETH, or I'm sorry, at 10 Sol. And I believe it topped out at like 24 Sol at one point. So it's had a pretty severe pullback here just in the last 24 hours. It's not out of the ordinary, right? We've seen this on every single chain, but just want to point out that this was obviously talked about a lot, that it ran up to 24, 25 Sol, and now it's sitting at 10.
Like people got to take profits, and that's all you're seeing there. I still hear the same groups who are talking very bullishly about that collection, still talking very bullishly about that collection. I do feel bad because I talked about them yesterday and expressed that I was pretty bullish on the collection, and a buddy of mine grabbed one in the mid 20 range, and that never feels good, but we're all big boys. We do these things ourselves. So I like these a lot, to be honest.
So like I've been only watching from the sidelines on this. I mean, I know the narrative, and I really I think this space has a thing for that type of narrative, right? Like a rescued collection, especially when it's like from the artist. I think that just makes for an even cooler story. Having said that, I have also heard, right, like that it is kind of like a coordinated pump from ETH,
BAYC,
certain BAYC also. So I'm curious, like midterm, like what do you think can sustain this in order for it to remain like a contender, or like like a consideration? Because sometimes like the stories is not enough, right? And I mean, I don't know if these people are like into like having a roadmap or whatever, but what do you think about that?
If you're asking me, I like the story, and that's all there is to it. So I'm with you about that. Cool story, and then also very, very manipulated. But it's like that same group of people. If it's the BAYCs or whatever, they still like the collection a lot and still think it's got some legs.
And if there's enough people around it, they can turn it into something, right?
They definitely can. And I'm seeing all the right names in there that are not part of that, maybe more coordinated effort. Someone like Dingling, I think, bought a bunch of them. And I like to see him in collections because what he buys, he doesn't sell. So you're starting to get the right group of collectors in there too. Combine that with that awesome story. And again, I love the art. I don't just like the art. I love it for some reason. So I like him. I'm looking at buying one around this price. Like I definitely might.
See, that's how I felt about the little peckers, man.
You had to do it.
I love the little peckers art. Just fantastic, man. But anyways,
hey, maybe they can make a comeback. We could put in an offer, Q. We can buy
I'm
the
down
collection.
to acquire. Yeah, I'm down to acquire. You know I am. XNFT is saying classic cabal pump and dump. Buffalo saying try roll Pepperidge Farm remembers. Marty McFly's in the house saying he's also here for the financial advice.
Hell yeah.
Not the gift ooh, ouch. Not the gift financial advice, the good financial advice. All right, I'm still doing my best sharing out the episode, guys. If you can get as many people in here, that would be phenomenal. Again, we see you guys on all platforms. All right, here, let's roll into the next topic. We've got a couple different airdrops that I want to hit, but this is, I think, a pretty cool topic. Decrypt has been doing kind of their best of the year. I think the one that we shared yesterday was like top project. I forgot exactly what it was from Decrypt, but it was base, and I think they were a little off base, pun intended. This one feels a little bit more on point. Decrypt's NFT project of the year has to be Pudgy Penguins, right?
That's perfect. By the way, dude, just if you want and if there's time, this morning I did the NFT Stats Poll, which I thought was awesome. Dude, if you want, maybe we do that here live because that's a lot of fun.
Okay. All right, I'll do that. I'll go and do that right now. Directly after this, thoughts on the Pudgy Penguins here being named Decrypt's project of the year. Then we'll jump into those stats polls because I like that.
I honestly couldn't think of a more perfect project. Now, like in Stats Poll, it had them, for me, up against Jack Butcher's collection, so Pepins. And it, to me, kind of a toss-up, but I think you got to give the Pudgy Penguins their flowers. They had a big year through the bear market, right? They just crushed it through the bear, and they built and they put NFTs in front of the mainstream, in front of an audience that just didn't give a shit about NFTs, and now they're starting to in a big way. So Pudgy Penguins, that is the right call.
Here's Luca Nets. The bear market was tough, but from our perspective, in hindsight, it was actually the best thing that ever happened to us because we were really able to focus on the core business, which was to build an IP and not get caught up in the rat race that can sometimes be a bull market. Biggie, go ahead.
Yeah, I can't agree more, man. I think, I agree with you, Huda, that Pepins would definitely be in the running. It's funny though, right? Because it definitely makes you consider like Pepins like are a PFP project. But they have kind of like their own thing there, right? Like and they're not finished minting yet, and they don't really have a roadmap other than like partnering with these great artists and release and stuff like that, right? But I agree with you. I think the Pudgies hit it out of the park, and they 100% deserve all that recognition. So yeah, I can't think of any other project that comes close.
All right, we're going to jump into the stats poll because he's got 3 other projects that he's put up there against Pudgy Penguins. Let's see if we can't go through this. 9 different polls. I would love for you guys to get involved there in the chat as we go on. I'll give it about 30 seconds. I know sometimes the stream can be behind here or the comments can be behind the stream. So I'll give you 30 seconds and we'll talk about this. All right, the first one, the first ever NFT stats end of year poll. The best PFP project of the year is Mad Lads, Ordinal Maxi Biz, Pepin Edition, or Pudgy Penguins. We've already kind of talked about this, guys, but we didn't mention Ordinals or Mad Lads. I'll open this comment up. Do you think that those were the 2 other projects to put in that category?
No.
Right? I think Ordinals is...
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about a collection or a project. Ordinals is a standard, right? That it's a...
Well, specifically, though, Biggie, he's got OMB.
Different type of token. So I wouldn't... Like, if you would call it, if the question was like, what's the best tech innovation? I would definitely have Ordinals, right? But I don't think like, I mean, do you think of one specific PFP when you think of Ordinals? Huda?
I think of frogs, but Huda, what are your thoughts here?
Well, yeah, I agree with that. I think it's not OMB that should represent Bitcoin ordinals. It should be goosenals, or it should be frogs, and maybe it should even be like the ordinal Bitcoin punks, the ordinal punks, right? OMB, for whatever reason, I know they've done very well, but that hasn't stood out to me as the Bitcoin collection. So for me, that was the first one to go.
Yeah. Okay. So
and Mad Lads, I think you could also argue that like they haven't. I mean, 100%. They have backpack coming. It's very clear that they are more than just a PFP project. Having said that, I think so far they're kind of in that chasm where we need to see the product, But they're in the running. I don't think they take over what Pudgy's has accomplished, right? Where
Right.
you can
All right.
point to like Walmart and all these other things.
This one was pretty big, so we're gonna try to speed through these a little bit faster. But I feel like the number one PFP project needs to be talked on. I'll vote Pudgy Penguins here myself, but Mad Lads definitely. It looks like Mad Lads came in second on this poll here, and XNFT is saying Mad Lads, but I minted, so I'm biased. I mean, here's what I'll say: if Mad Lads had happened, if this whole run had happened in July or August, I would give them that mantle. But really, it's been like a month and a half of absolute craziness when it comes to just the Solana ecosystem. So I'll give it that. All right, second, daily content creator of the year, Tyler, Rectmondo, Roger Dickerman, or B-Check.
Man, they're all so great, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I voted Tyler because Tyler's inspired me all year long, and I saw such tremendous growth. But it's like, how do you pick any of them above each other? And I'll say especially Roger Dickerman and B-Check, who they're at such a high level and have been for so long. Rec Mando, I know people love. I don't watch the show. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I just know he's excellent as well. Tyler is my standout.
Roger feels like he's in his own lane. I feel like Tyler, Rect, and B-Check are kind of competing for a lot of the same pie that's going to continue to grow. Don't get me wrong. I think all three of those guys can be successful, but Roger feels like he's carved out a niche for himself.
Definitely, and especially ramping up to do every days for the next year. Like Roger is about to hit like a whole different level. And Rect Mando won. That's wild.
Yeah, I like because he does like the what is it, the Mando Minute or whatever.
Yep.
Every day, and like so. Yeah, no, I like his content too. I agree though. Like him and probably Roger are my two favorite, and that's just like personal, anecdotal.
Biggie,
I'd have a hard time. I really would have a hard time picking just because they're all such clear thinkers, and that's something that I deeply appreciate when somebody can not only have original takes but also articulate them the way these people do. So yeah, I do think that each of them have their own unique style, right, that they've carved out. So yeah, it's hard to pick one.
I'll say this too, just as a last point on it. It's just that we're spoiled to have such good content, but more than that it's coming from such good guys. Like none of them are like BitBoy, right? None of them are like these shitty characters. They're all good guys, and I love that about this.
Marty's saying best PFP of 2023 is CryptoPunks. Sarah Script saying they're all so good, and Marty's also saying Marty's coming with a mad FUD today. Anyone but the Nifty show.
It took me a bit to warm up
Rampage,
the Nifty
man.
guys, but I like them. But yeah, hell yeah, Marty. Tyler's the GOAT.
All right, this is a pretty good one. New art blocks of the year: Human Unreadable, The Harvest, Cargo, in Trichromatic. Biggie, I'll leave this one for you.
Man, that's hard. But I got to go with Human Unreadable. I think that was such a hit. Yeah, The Harvest makes sense too. The Harvest is
It's a great year for art, wasn't it? And I know he's got another art poll coming up, but it was a great year for art.
it's fantastic, man. Like right now with this whole argument about whether to mint art on Solana, whether artists on Solana are valid, I think is the dumbest argument in the world. And whenever I see people from like the ETH side complain, you know, I'm like, man, you had a whole fucking year of hitting it out of the park. Can Solana have a moment? You know, it's like no biggie. It's I think it's good. Yeah, it's been a great year for art, man.
Yep.
All right, love it. Number 4, new art project of the year: Monument Game, The Broken Keys, Life in West America, and Winds of Yawanawa. Man, I'll just say that the Monument Game and Winds of Yawanawa stand out to me, just being maybe a little bit on the outside of this and how much energy they all kind of were able to produce.
Yeah, I like the Monument Game for that one.
I agree. Both you can put. You can point to like really strong points, right, as to why. I think Winds of Yawanawa and Rafik, just like as far as like execution goes and promoting their work, like just the way the whole thing was done was perfect. And then with Monument Game, what I love about it is that it still remained very much web. It didn't really pierce through the way, say, Rafik did with the MoMA and the Sphere and this and that. I think Monuments game is something that kind of like we all got to cherish. People that got to see it unfold and be a part of it. It's, you know, different takes, but I agree. Both of them are super solid.
That to me is why I picked the Monument game forward. It was a different type of experience. It was very Web3. It was a buff to the whole collector and artist experience, the way you actually kind of enjoy a piece of work together. Yeah. And that was something Winds of Yawanawa didn't have. It's a technical, I don't know if I call it a technical marvel, but it's a gorgeous piece of work. I love the AI aspect. I love the data, the real world data aspect to it too. So Winds of Yawanawa is phenomenal, but I think Monument game is more impactful. And I think people are going to be copying that interactive style, and they already have been. So that was my pick, although you can't go wrong with Winds of Yawanawa. I'll say, though, that you can tell by the results who the audience is here that this poll is reaching, and you'll see that actually later on with one of the follow-up polls.
I don't want to sling any oh, Biggie, we're getting some audio from you there. I don't want to sling any kind of nonsense out there, but if you're looking at Winds of Yawanawa and you're looking at the Monument game, I feel like Monument game had a lot of individuals in that mix that got the energy going, if that makes sense. Whereas I think Rafiq just kind of stood on its own, and what it was. I'm sure there were a lot of people in the industry that were pushing that narrative and all that stuff, but it felt like to me the Monument game from the start was like even people, the way that they wore those cabal masks and all that stuff. So that's my only thing I'll say to this.
It did feel like it was something that was for kind of the elites in a way too. And that might not be fully true. I know to get into it, it cost maybe a couple ETH to mint the player token. Yeah. But it did feel like something that most people couldn't touch, and Winds of Yawanawa felt more accessible to everyone. But both, again, just so phenomenal, as were the other two.
Go ahead, Biggie. Oh,
can you hear me?
Start again. Yeah, I got you.
Okay. I would say the way I look at it is Rafiq did an amazing job at getting eyeballs from outside, right? From onboarding people. Like just what he was able to achieve with the MoMA was fantastic. It got people, a lot of people that may have not been interested to say like, what is an NFT? Oh, wow, that's an NFT. Like that conversation is invalid to me. Like I think it needed to be had, and you couldn't have had like a better spokesperson to do it. Like that's why I think like the process of it was great, but I see it as like an onboarding piece of art, whereas Monument game was like a celebration of Web3. It was our thing, like you said, and yeah.
Okay. Great. I like that take. All right, we do have No Use NFT. We have offhand talking about that collection here in a moment, and we have a whole rest of the episode to get to, guys. So the next I think the next four, we got to really kind of fly through a little bit faster here. Daily Spaces of the Year. I'm sure Marty's going to love this one. Coffee with Captain, Nifty Portal Show, FOMO Hour with Rug Radio, and Lucky Lead. I have to go with the Nifty Portal Show just from the way that they were actually able to, I don't even know if this falls out of the timeline of this year, but the way Nick was able to go to the Bahamas last year and follow everything that was happening with Sam Bankman-Fried stood out to me. I know that was last year. I think they really catapulted themselves here in 2023, though, and they had the most successful. And then talk about the Bodago's success, too, on top of that. I mean, it's just... to me, this they feel like a clear winner here.
I'm a Coffee with Captains fan.
This is another example of they're all so damn good. They really are. I voted Lucky Lead again because I'm a Tyler stan at this point.
I enjoy it.
They're all really, really good.
Yeah, Prado's saying, where's Web3? Agreed. We are going to be on the 2024 list. By all things in my power, we will attempt to be on this freaking list by the end of the year here. But yeah, Lucky Lead not getting the most here. It makes sense to me because all the rest of these are like obviously a little bit more popular, but Tyler just brings it every day, man. So I appreciate that. Ronin, your thoughts? And Biggie?
Yeah, the only one I listen to on a daily basis is GM Web3. So like quite literally. So I know Nifty, the Nifty Portal Show. I listened to those guys a couple times. Everybody knows my feelings about Rug Radio. And the other two I just haven't ever actually listened to, so I don't have a place. GM Web3.
There you go. Love to hear it. Biggie Poppins.
Well, I said I would have picked Coffee with Captain, but I like Ronin. I'll pick Web3.
There you go. Love it. GM Web3 coming at you, 2024 poll. Ordinal Project of the Year. So here we go. This is what Hudo was talking about. Goosenals, Ordinal Maxi Biz, Bitcoin Frogs, Ordinal Punks. I'm picking Frogs here, but go ahead, guys.
Yeah, I would say it's anything but OMB. I think it's Bitcoin Frogs, it's Ordinal Punks. Goosenals, you can make a really, really strong case because of that Dmitry Cherniak tie and because the community just rallied around this thing and pushed it to this crazy height it's at right now. You can't go wrong with any of them, honestly, but I wrote in my answer. I actually just, what did I even vote, man? I don't remember. I would have put the Honey Badgers up in there.
Yeah.
I haven't followed Ordinals quite enough, but I was going to say Frogs for me, just because like that's the one that I've seen talked about more and seems to have like the most like strongest community. Yeah, so that one.
I love it.
Biggie? I don't like any of these, to be honest. I don't. I'm all about my Megapunks, and I'm all about my Pixies, my rainbow unicorns that are going to conquer all of this.
All right.
On the line.
You can't talk about the Mega Pixies till they're bridge, Biggie. That's the new rule.
Right on.
Till the bridge.
Fair point. But Megapunks are there.
All right.
I'm all about my Megapunks.
All right, we do have offhand here, so let's fly through the rest of these, and then we'll bring him in. Project Creator of the Year, Jack Butcher, Luca Netz, Sam Spratt, Ray Chan. This one's hard.
Yeah,
this one's
it is
hard.
I think especially because Luca with Pudgy Penguins wins that other category, and Sam Spratt, at least for me, won the art category. For me, Jack Butcher was the clear Project Creator of the Year because he's created so many projects this year. To me, this is all Jack Butcher.
This is a really good one.
I like that too. I'll take Jack Butcher just because of the breadth of the amount of projects he was able to execute at such a high level. You know, in one fucking year, you got to give it to him. You know?
All right, without doing a proper introduction here, I don't want to leave Offhand in the green room too long. Offhand, if you want to take part in this discussion, I can bring you in. Just type in that private chat. Let me know if you want to be brought up. If not, we'll just talk about No Use NFT here in just a moment and what you're up to. Ronin, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I agree. Jack Butcher. Luca, I think would be, I don't know, like my Web3 Times Person of the Year. But he didn't create, Pudgy Penguins. He took over that project. This is Project Creator of the Year for me.
Wow.
I'm, sometimes I do get a little technical, but if you're the call out creator, Jack Butcher, I don't think you can really pass it. I'm a huge landmark fan or trademark fan. I was watching EFT this morning. But yeah, so Jack, I love his art too, dude.
Yeah, fantastic. The way he was able to just be the face of the generative art movement too, right? Like
the projects were cool. You know what I mean? Like his projects are cool. He's got a lot of purpose behind them. I watched the little documentary video, him talking about the checks, right, and where that came from and why he came up with the idea. And I love like what he did with basically the evolution of the checks and being able to like breed them essentially, right? So just to me, again, it's the fun of the project. It's the art. It is an artist who came out and said, I want to do some fun shit and also make it look good as well. And I think he accomplished, this is what I was talking about. I think this is excellent. If you guys have not seen this, it's on Jack's Twitter profile. It's pinned to the top. It's 15 minutes long. It's so good. But yeah, I don't want to offhand. What do you think?
Yeah, we just do things off the whip. So this is natural. Offhand said, "Put me in, coach." What's up, man?
No, you're good, but yeah, just to throw my 2 cents in, I'm with Jack Butcher on that completely. It's refreshing because I'll kind of get into why my project is the way it is in a bit, but seeing something like that where there's this, I think Ronan said it, this kind of breeding of your NFT, but also the inflationary value, the idea where everything you make, because we're used to these 10K projects these days, and it's like, look, it's another meme coin with a face to it. And here you come up with something that's like, well, no, you actually engage in this. There's utility in the activity of it. And then as you whittle things down more and more and more, it's harder and harder to participate, but it's also more rewarding to do so. So he gets my nod.
I love that, guys. I think the first... I think the first inclination here is to put Luca Nets up there and say, oh yeah, Luca is the project creator of the year. But I think you're right, Ronin. Like, he definitely has done a lot, but I think Pudgy Penguins could be the collection of the year, and Jack Butcher can be probably the creator of the year. I think that shows it off the best here. All right, we're gonna fly through the rest of these, and if you guys don't appreciate what Biggie Poppins is doing, I don't know who you are, because he's over there in the middle of Mexico just trying to get a connection so that he can be a part of this. Leave a like for my man here if you're on YouTube. All right, emerging one of one artist of the year, die with the most likes, 0xDGB, I am Laurel, and Bato, and hopefully I didn't screw up any of those names.
I'll be 100% honest. I am not familiar with any of these artists. Sadly, and that I feel really bad. Outside of Bato, I know the Bato project. I got into Bato, when they dropped us all free tokens. It's always a good way to get your attention. And I'm really actually pretty surprised to see it having popped up over a year later. But yeah, so
I really can't comment on this. Like, I'm just truthfully not strong enough to.
Die with the most likes has the coolest name.
He definitely does.
Wild.
I think he's the most popular of these. I wonder if he doesn't win this. But Huda, your thoughts?
Yeah, die with the most likes. I mean, yeah, I love the dude.
Yes.
I think he's so damn unique, and yeah, I'm glad to see that number.
I think I'm gonna have to follow now.
Offhand, you were gonna say something there?
Oh no, it's just but die with the most likes, hands down. It's there's a level of irreverence, and like, I don't care. It's like, wow, the queen came back alive today. I shitted and farted. And then he draws something about like Dunkin' Donuts, but everything's made of meat. And none of it makes any sense. And it's full on Zoomer humor. But there's a cynicism to it that I think it's like, right, yeah, there it is, right. It's everything is just uncomfortable and uncanny.
Yes.
It's good stuff.
When I heard about the activations he was doing over there in Marfa, I really kind of fell in love with his process, right, and what he was doing with the live mints and stuff there. That was pretty cool for the physical items. All right, I'm going to attempt to get back to this. Number 9, I think this is the final question here.
So this one, I just got to say, this is the one that will show you who the audience is for this, and it'll make some of the other winners, I guess, make a little more sense too.
Okay, so hold on. I want to use some deductive reasoning here. Say that one more time.
There were some of the winners on the previous polls, right? Some of the ones we were just doing where maybe I just personally didn't agree with the winners of it. And I also didn't with this final one. And again, I think you see who the audience is and you get a little more understanding on why votes went a certain way.
I'm going to guess that it's stats. So it's got to be Ethereum. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say Ethereum definitely won, which probably shouldn't have.
I can't fathom why it's not Bitcoin, just because of what they accomplished this year, just flipping both Solana and Ethereum. The way that it has, it's absolutely bonkers. To me, it's Bitcoin. It's hard for me to even make an argument for Solana, as great as they're doing lately.
This one's tough. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole here, but I mean, a lot of the cultural stuff that we're talking about here is still predominantly on Ethereum. We just talked about all of those artists. We just talked about Jack Butcher. We just talked about Pudgy Penguins. All of this is on ETH. So that's I guess my only.
Yeah, actually that's fair too. There's no other like kind of quantifying parts of that poll. So I guess it could just be about the culture.
All right, we're going to get 2 last thoughts here from Biggie Poppins. We're on Blockchain of the Year for NFTs, and then offhand, I want your take here, and then we'll jump into No Use.
Yeah, I heard your take, Q. I agree. I think this year is clearly Ethereum, just because of the activity, right? All the L2 ecosystems that have been flourishing and launching apps on it, and it's hard to think that these other two even hold a candle to it as far as delivering so far, right? On just smart contract tech, on usability, collecting, the culture, you name it. So yeah, ETH for sure.
Prado saying, gotta say Sol. XNFT saying, no way, Solana is not the winner for 2023. Hey, Carrie, how you doing? Easy and Crypto saying BTC. And BTC will always be the chain of the year.
Guys, like honestly, just think of the inscription craze, all the SPL 20s, all these things that are happening on other chains that all started on. It was because of Bitcoin. Like I have a hard time accepting anything else other than Bitcoin this year.
All right, we'll end here
I share your love with Bitcoin, Huda. It's just like I think the UX and UI is still like it's still to be unleashed. So far,
Yes.
it's just a lot of frozen capital.
It's awesome to see you not on your Nokia anymore, Biggie Poppin. So it's nice. You kind of came into the iPhone era here. Offhand, I want your take here on blockchain of the year.
This kind of came out exactly how I thought this graph would go. I figured it would be really close between ETH and Solana, with Bitcoin a bit lower, just because I get it. Bitcoin is Bitcoin, and I'm a bit of a maxi with that. But I think it's also because Bitcoin is like, oh, that's the money one. You just invest in that, and that's money, and that's cool. But like nobody talks about how great gold's doing because it's not really exciting. But all the actions happening on ETH, a lot of actions happen on Solana. But even then, Solana still kind of has the new kid kind of reputation. It's just for art, right? It's those things over there. It's for people who can't hack the gas prices on ETH. And so I think I could see that flipping maybe next year. We'll see. But I think that graph is perfect. ETH on top, then Sol, then Bit, then Tezos.
All right, thank you NFT Stats for that activation there, that event that we had on NFT Live today, going through those polls. That's going to be it for that portion of the episode. I do want to jump into No Use and what you've been doing offhand. I'm going to let Ronin bring us in. But guys, we are sitting on NFT Live. We do these daily at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you're sitting out there and you've kind of tuned in all the way through, we'd appreciate a like here to get the word out to the most amount of people right before we get into this spotlight. Ronin, I'm going to hand it off to you, man.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, definitely hit the like button. Helps tremendously with the algorithm. If you guys have not realized, also, we did post the link on Twitter. If you can like that, retweet it, that helps a ton. But comments actually help the most, our friend Gif taught us. So if you leave a little comment saying you enjoyed the show or you liked it or, fuck off, whatever, it's going to help the algorithm. We're going to appreciate it a lot. Outside of that, we've got Offhand here. Offhand is a homie who I met through the Super Plastic community. Really cool and really dope artist. Earlier this year, I keep saying June, but I can't remember the exact timeline. He did drop No Use NFTs, which is a project that he created himself. It's 9,261 randomly generated skulls, and it's all done by hand. So really cool. From the beginning, he's really talked a lot about the digital physical ties, how I think that plays into a lot of his history. He's some of the first stuff he ever shared with me was some really cool clothes that he's done and some physical work. So but yeah, that's Offhand, and so I'll let him kind of jump in, talk a little bit about No Use, a little bit about himself. If you want to tell us, a little bit your background and why you decided to launch an NFT project and
sure.
about No Use.
Yeah, actually, come to think of it, I think this is the first time I've ever actually attached my face to my work or my name. So happy Boxing Day, everybody. Hi. This is fun. But Offhand, artist. I do things digital and analog for the most part. I make clothing and apparel too. I've got we're graced with my living room for now because I'm running new utilities to my shop because I had it above ground, but I live out in the woods and bears like to climb the fence, and so kaputs. But yeah, it's just I've been doing that for the longest of times, and I've been around Web3 for a while, but just kind of following the pulse of what's new and what's kind of coming and what people kind of like and what they want. And the idea of NFTs was really exciting to me because I invest, I've got my dividend stock and all that. And then you have cryptocurrency, which is, explaining to grandma that it's just digital gold and silver. Don't worry about it. That's how that works. Then out comes Yuga Labs being like, well, people collect and sell and trade precious metals. They also do that with the Mona Lisa and Starry Night. So why not pull that? And like, ooh, that's new because, I do half my work on my computer, whether I draw it and scan it in or otherwise, it's there. And so finding a way to actually authenticate something that's infinitely replicable on the blockchain is really cool. It's really neat. And so I was really excited to see how that would work and what you could do with that. But I got really disenfranchised with what was happening because I expect people when they purchase artwork, you like it. Yeah, it's pretty. I like to like what I like, and you collect stuff. And there are people out there who love Funko Pop, and bless you. But that maybe 1% of your Beanie Babies are going to be worth something. You just like what you like, right? It's like, it has Venom on it, I have a collection. But most people, when they purchase artwork, there's a bit of an investment feel to that. They wanted to at least hold its value and retain something. They want to be able to say, yeah, I got this and you didn't. Yeah, this is an artist proof. Yeah, well, I actually met him in person at a convention and she does amazing stuff. And there's this history, there's this heritage behind it. And seeing what's being offered with things like Bored Ape is hype. What's it about? Nothing. What's so special about it? Post Malone owns one. Snoop Dogg has one, and he has a cool shirt. Don't you want to be cool? It's like, no, because I don't like people. What's the actual value? And that works for a long enough time until eventually the hype runs dry. And that's why every other, like, I don't know, article for the past couple months has been like, NFTs are finally dead. NFTs are over. It's done. It's like, it's not done. It's far from done. They obviously aren't. Only be so lucky. But it's because they don't actually pay attention and they just follow what's the most popular thing. And that's kind of the problem when it comes to a lot of NFTs. I've been in plenty of spaces where the offering is a PFP. What else? Nothing. It's a cool image. I drew it. Or even worse, the ultimate cardinal sin. It's a 10K project on Ethereum. It's all AI. They're all AI one of ones, so you didn't draw anything. You typed in 15 words and you clicked enter and you liked what came out. And so you minted that and you put it out there, hoping to collect money from people who think that this is going to be the one that gets me big. And that's when I said, I'm really tired of waiting for an art project to come in and do something. I'm seeing projects that are providing, DAOs for money. I've seen companies that are cleaning the oceans and crowdfunding actual stuff, whether it's digital or it's Web 2. And as an artist, I was like, okay, what can I do to kind of live in that space instead of what I've now called an empty box with Gucci wrapping paper. They look really pretty. It's got a big name attached to it. You got big people. We're throwing money to market it to as many folks as we can. And then people are just hoping that that's the lottery ticket that they're going to scratch and be the next big guy. It's like, oh yeah, I invested early and now I have a yacht and I live in Aruba. It's like, it's not going to happen. Those days are over. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, a project every now and then will pop up and it'll just, hit the right tailwind and soar. But most projects don't do that. Most people here know. And if they don't, like 9 out of 10 NFT projects fail. Like you're going to spend an awful lot of money and get nowhere with it. And what are you really offering these people anyway? And so coming at it from a holder, I wanted to make a project that said, okay, what happens if your project goes to zero? Like rather than sit there and say, well, how can I scrape as much money from you people as I can and then go on a mental health break forever and then just delete everything? What if I sit there and say, well, how about the NFT that you've purchased, as pretty as I can make it, isn't really where the value lies? Holding it is nice, but the actual value comes in, you've given me money. You're not an investor. I don't really see you as a holder. I see you as a patron. I'm an artist. You've given me your time and your money, and I want to give you something for that. Yeah, you got a PFP, and if you like it, cool beans. But I don't think that's enough, especially when it comes to all the different projects that are coming out that actually do stuff. Of course, Pudgy Penguin's one. You can go to Walmart right now and buy a plushie for your kid. They have no clue what a ledger is. It doesn't matter. They've got shows coming out. It's just they're doing stuff, and so no wonder it won. You're actually getting something for your money and your time, as far as just the community and the hype, because eventually the hype all goes away when there's nothing else to it but hype. And so out came No Use NFT. It's all tongue in cheek. I put it on Ethereum because that's where all the stupid 10K projects are. I priced it incredibly affordable, as affordable as I could be. It's a 0.13 ETH, so it's like what, like $20 right now. Like skip Wendy's today, pick one up. That's all you need. And then you get access to the basic stuff, gated merchandise, things that only you can get for being a holder, all that kind of stuff. But the real value comes in burning your NFTs. It is a 10K project, but it doesn't intend to stay that way. I want you to actually use them. I want you to pick them up, wait for something that I produce, and then get rid of them. You're on the burn page right now. But I'm producing things anywhere from double cast resin to neon signs to magic 8 balls to whatever it is I feel like doing. I'm an artist. I can do what I wish. I work from home. I win. But if you want it, grab it. And if you don't, pass it by. But the idea is that as you burn the NFTs, again, kind of hailing back to Butcher there, the project gets smaller and smaller and smaller. The things I make might get better, might get worse. I don't really want to punish people who got in early to save for people who got in late. But the idea is this project is anything but useless. your NFT might not be worth something. Like I said, I priced it low, and I understand that when people buy and they sell, they kind of want to at least make their money back. But the idea is that perhaps your PFP isn't worth anything. Most of them really don't end up in the end. But you can sit there and say, I've got posters on my wall, I've got hoodies on my body, I've got things that I like, I've got figures that I like, I've got collaboration work with somebody, maybe a pressed vinyl or something that's just for looks. Anything that I kind of want to come up with, I come up with. And these NFTs are the access point to that. So in more of a phygital sense, rather than just existing in Web3, you can actually get something that you can hold on to, because all this stuff can collapse and burn tomorrow, right? Olympus could fall and the NFTs are done, but you can sit there and say, but I've got something for my money and my time. And that's kind of the point.
That's awesome.
Yeah, fantastic breakdown. First of all, the fact that we get to be with you here on your doxing day as well, I want to throw out as being an awesome moment. So claps for you for that. Ronin, you could take it away though, man.
Yeah, no, I think that's really awesome. And I think that where you really, resonate probably with the panel and the guys here is, talking about there not being a use for the NFT, quote unquote, but there actually being a use for it, right? Like some people may not find this value for a secondary market flip. However, like if you are a genuine fan of the art and the things being produced by the artist, and this is a direct way that you can then support. And to me, that again is why the space and the technology get me so excited. So, I'm really, vibing with it, man. I love the art. I've said that before. I think that you do some really cool stuff. I'm super interested in, what do you got coming up? Like, do you have any kind of plans? Or I guess a better frame for the question is, when it comes to the physicals that you can burn these things for, do you have kind of like a roadmap, or are you kind of producing things as like, the interest hits and then you kind of put it out? And then part two of that question is it a 1-for-1? Every item you're putting up is going to cost one NFT, or is it variable?
It will vary. And yeah, I do have plans. I have an internal roadmap, but I'm not going to share it with you guys, because what happens if, things don't work out? Oh, he made promises. So, I've been around long enough. This is not my first rodeo. But I do have plans, and as they come out, they come out. For example, come the first of the year, come January 1st, I am doing a snapshot. Any holder right now, you either have to have, I forgot to mention in the project, they're, again, all hand-drawn, but, procedurally generated, randomly generated. But there are 7 that are gold, 7 that are animated, and then 7 that are specifically one of ones. So those are the special 21 numbers, are all kind of a number file. They're all hidden in there. They may or may not be important. I'm not going to tell you that. But if you're holding any of those, or you hold 21 total NFTs in your wallet when the snapshot happens, the first airdrop, what you're looking at right now, not the purple and gold one, but that one, is going to be sent to you. Then come February 14th, Valentine's Day, anybody who's holding this will receive a hand-pulled, hand-signed serigraph from myself, free of charge. Wherever you are in the world, I don't care where you're living, I don't care what it is. Thanks for holding, thanks for purchasing, thanks for being around, you get that. From there, everybody that's holding that, when I'm ready to produce the sister to that duotic, will also get that for free. That particular piece will be able to be, I don't want to say purchased, but redeemed by burning 5 NFTs and receiving that one. Generally speaking, I plan to have everything be equivalent to 5, but if for some reason Ethereum moons to 4,000, then I will adjust. I have the ability to do that. And likewise, if I say I'm looking to do a collab with Bear Walker, do a skate deck, that may or may not be a bit more than 5 NFTs, and so I'll try to figure that out. Also, as those special one-of-ones get minted, whoever's holding that will receive whatever limited artwork that I'm doing specifically for that for free. I may or may not also give them a special edition of it. It really depends on how I feel, how the project actually goes. If it sells like hotcakes, great. If it takes a bit longer, I'll do that as well. Also, when it comes to the burn, I have a sister collection. It's not going to be sellable. I'm not going to mint it. It's just going to be airdrop to holders only for like rewards, presents, happy birthdays, whatever, that you can burn alongside your no use NFTs. Because there are people that say, well, I just kind of want to be involved and I'm really attached to this one. And once you start burning them, eventually you start running out of the ones that you could care less about. But because I hold, the keys to that door, I can kind of control the flow. That way we're not flooding the economy. Because though I don't expect these NFTs to moon, that's not up to me. I'm doing what I can do. If you guys like it, come on by. If you don't, again, it's a free country, it's a free world, do what you like. I would love it to moon. And the best part is because they're priced low, that's more money in your pocket. But yes, hopefully the de-inflationary value of the NFTs as they get whittled down less and less and less will cause a bit of a stir in the secondary market to where people are anxious to get these and looking forward to that. Also, I'm going to set it up that you can burn at any time. It's not going to be a situation where here's the new drop, be here on this day, burn now, redeem now. If you have 20 and you're just tired of looking at them, you can burn them right now. That's 20 less NFTs in the project that there were before. And you can hold those until I actually produce something that you like, or again, you're tired of the project or it's not what you want. You can go off on Blur or OpenSea and just sell out to somebody else or trade it for something you'd like. I'm trying to make this a holder-focused project based on artwork.
I don't want to jump in front of Biggie Poppins here. Biggie, did you have anything to add here before I ask my question?
No. Go ahead, Q. I mean, other than cheers, sir. That's one heck of a project you got there.
Thank you much. I've just been waiting for you to move to a new location.
I will say, looking at some of the art here on the merchandise and apparel, there's a couple odes to Mickey's hand, right? Kind of the oversized glove. And we did talk about Mickey yesterday. We do have that Steamboat Willie IP coming in to the public domain here in January 1st. That would be really cool to see something with Steamboat Willie here. Anyways, what's that, Biggie?
One question. Yeah, I did come up with a question that I'm wondering, are you considering microchipping some of these real world pieces that you think about minting? Like, have you checked out like IYK and stuff like that? Have you considered using that tech?
Absolutely. Actually, Ronin and I have talked a little bit about that too. Is like, it'd be nice to, because again, right, digital, right? It's like, it'd be nice to actually sit there and say, well, I've produced this, but like, we just kind of came from Super Plastic, and this is not a time to talk ill or good about them, but they produce a lot of things that are supposed to be limited edition, and then 2 months later, it's, oh, here's 100 more. It's like, well, what are the numbers? Because that matters to us. But being able to chip them, it's proof of purchase. It's, certificate of authenticity that, can't get lost in the wash or rained on. And if I say there's 100, there's 100. Or more accurately, if it's saying, hey, here's the window, and only 50 people, redeem them, well, there's only 50. There's 51, there's 51. But that's something that we can be tracked. It's on the contract. It exists. And then you can sit there and play with that. Same thing with things like, if I do, say, timed windowed editions, because not everything's going to be from digital to physical that way. Some things will be like, say, limited drops, animated NFTs, maybe timed open editions, things like that. But there's going to be ways to validate and certify. And I'm trying to actually really fully maximize the potential of Web3, because part of what, I get it, right? The first thing that comes out of NFTs is Bored Ape. And so there's a reason why everybody still kind of has this day trader, make it big, get rich mentality when it comes to just the vast potential that Web3 has. It's a smart contract. I would love to be able, like, I bought my house. God knows how many hands I had to freaking shake to get this house under my name. It'd be great if I could just skip all of the middlemen because it's all on blockchain. That has nothing to do with getting rich. You can sit there and say real estate. And I think day traders should have their fun. And if there's money to be made, make your money by all means. But I think for the most part, people really need to get out of the mindset that Web3 is here to make you rich.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those like conversations that we have pretty often. And that's one of those things that I'm like constantly like, harping on is like, we got to get away from, Web3 blockchain technology equaling financial investment, right? Like it is not that. Like the underlying technology can be applied to so many real use cases that is not going to be a direct money maker for like whoever's utilizing that, right? Like to your point, provenance, I think, is like one of the biggest things that we're just not leveraging the blockchain for that we should be, you know, like in situations like that where, you know, a company like Super Plastic says, hey, these are super limited edition and we're dropping them and, you know, you should buy them right now because they're only never going to be sold again. And then like they don't sell through their entire inventory. Then they call it sold out and they put them in a, you know, the warehouse. And then 8 months later, they think people forget that shit. They don't. And then they try to re-release it and act like nobody fucking knows. And it's like, you know, the first thing that real collectors are asking is like, one, where the hell did the stock come from? And two, what is the exact number of what is limited edition? Give me the number. And we should have transparency in that information, especially when we have the technology to implement it in a seamless way that can, you know, follow these collectibles and prove authenticity, prove print, you know, number and quantity and things along those lines that truly is use cases that the consumer needs, right? The problem is that even businesses and companies are in the same mindset of Web3 needs to make me money directly. And if it's not making me money directly, it's not use, you know, we've got to get to the point where you know, putting a zipper on your pants isn't because the zipper's gonna, now you can charge $50 more. It's because like the zipper's better than fucking buttons, right? So like that's where we got to get to.
I'm interested in this dynamic here offhand because $10 per NFT, and the mint is live now, folks. And I dropped the link there. I'll drop the No Use link as well, so that you guys can go check this out. But you're talking about, okay, 5 NFTs per, you know, some type of work or some type of, you know, customized piece, and it's like that sounds great for the holder, but does that work in that process for you over time, right? Because if you sell all of these out, $9 or I'm sorry, there's 99,000 of these pieces, there's $10 a pop, what have you. So really it kind of works out. Are you hoping that there's some type of royalty kind of like continuation here? Is there going to be a secondary collection when all of these, if this goes extremely well and people start burning all of these, is there going to be a secondary collection that then drops? And how are you thinking about all this stuff?
I designed this to scale because, like I said, there's a lot of projects where it's like it's all in, it's all or nothing. I've dropped 60K on this. I've got all these people. I got some blue chips in there just to shill my wares and all that kind of stuff. And that's nice for those that can afford it and those that can do it. But I'm gonna make art regardless. I'm gonna be just fine. This is, to me, a better way of getting not only my work out to more people, as well as perhaps an audience that wouldn't normally find it or see it or care, but also to let people know that there's more to Web3 than just the promise that you get, especially in a PFP project. Like I said, there's plenty out there that are making things and actually doing things and providing utility. And I feel that there's a lot of projects that kind of just die on the vine because, well, people are looking for the next get rich quick because that's kind of been the live stream of Web3. It's like, but how do I get rich off of it? It's like, maybe you don't, but you get something better than you had before. You invest in something and it does what you want and you get something. You don't go to Wendy's to buy a burger hoping that the burger will make you rich. You go to Wendy's because you're hungry and you want a burger. And so with my project, if it does phenomenally well, I have no reason to see why I wouldn't continue it on. I could certainly make another collection, another project. Like I said, I have a supplementary collection that I can give people and airdrop to people to kind of control the flow of it. If it all of a sudden blows up, I've got a way to keep things going a bit longer because I would love this project to last a while too, which is another thing with Web3, and that's just the internet in general. They want things now, right goddamn now. And if you don't do something right now, right goddamn now, you've been forgotten. Oh, it's flooded this and throw it out there. It's like, I would love this project to last for years because I'm by myself, I'm doing my things. If I'm going to make you something that's nice, I'm probably going to screw up a couple of them. That's going to take time. And the Web 2 world kind of gets that. Like artwork and art collectors and art buyers, they kind of grasp that because like, oh, the person's making a thing. I want a screen print. If it's ass, I don't want that. He needs to make a better one. And he might burn through half the stuff and that's the ink to buy and the screens to burn and all that kind of stuff and things to reclaim. And so people kind of get that that takes time, but we're so used on the age of the internet that we can get what I want right now. I don't want to buy your painting because now I have to figure out how to store it, and I got to have a room for it, and maybe have the air condition where I can go on Fiverr and just have somebody in Photoshop, write me up the Green Ranger fighting the Superman in my mom's basement, and there you go. And I'm happy. And they don't quite grasp that they're missing out on a world that they could normally access. So if it mints, okay, I can do things for them. If it fully mints out, I can scale with that as well. And so I'm in a position where I can kind of handle whatever is going to happen. So like right now, you've seen the mint. I think they're like a 400, 450 people have minted. Great. I can make those people happy. If 1,000 mint, I can make 1,000 people happy. And it's nice is that as it grows, I can just make more people happy with the stuff that I'm doing because I'm going to be doing it anyway. That's part of why I also priced it low. I'm not trying to buy 4 vacation homes and a Ferrari. I have my house.
Sounds like a lot like you're trying to evolve patronship in a way, as opposed to really like selling out a full collection, all that stuff. Like that would be amazing, but you're coming at it from the right perspective. Biggie Poppins has been waiting to get in here, so I'm going to bring him in.
You got that.
Yeah, man. I love what you're doing, man. I think, when it comes to, I understand that whole scarcity question that you were asking, Q, and it's like, well, you're going to launch another collection. But I find that the more interesting question here is like the segmentation as people burn these things for chipped pieces, mind you. You kind of, you enable like this, I don't know, I feel like it's infinitely scalable, right? Like you can continue to grow and reward these different communities that claim different, objects from you, right? Like this is within the 9DCC, system. There's only 250 of these caps ever, right? And I literally just handed somebody an NFT because this thing is chipped and it enables me to drop a PO-up on somebody. That person's part of my ecosystem now, and I just roped them into the 9DCC universe as well, right? So I feel like the scarcity, do I need to launch another collection is not the main concern here. To me, more than anything, the thing that I wanted to ask you is like, I can see that you're world building here, to an extent with using your art as such. How are you thinking about the inevitable communities, right, that will eventually form, right, around certain collections, certain pieces that you drop? Is this something that, like, you keep talking about, like, making your collectors happy? Is this something that you want to, like, personally spearhead? Like, you're going to be managing sorry about that. You're going to be personally managing the Discord, or are you going to be more like Xcopy and like these others where you let your holders do that by themselves? Which is also an interesting question.
It's probably going to be more of the latter than the former, only due to my deep anxiety and my getting exhausted with social interaction. Like right now, I run the Discord, and it is what it is. And if people talk in there, great. But I would truly prefer it to evolve and graduate as the holders want it to be. If my Discord is just no one ever comes in and they just wait for me to at everybody, hey, I did a thing, oh cool, and then they go off to the little universes and pockets, then that's what they want. Again, I'm trying to make this for the holder, not for me. I have no illusions of grandeur or vainglory in that. At the same time, if they want me to talk, if they want a story or some sort of narration to come about, I could whip something up, I can write, I just don't like it. But I really want this to be what the holders want. If they decide to all commingle there and talk about just my project, or they have something small that they're doing, then I'm more than happy to have that as well. I really want this to be a space where it's a safe space, but I want it to be a place where the holders really decide how this thing evolves and how it goes. The artwork that I'm making will be the artwork that I make. I'm not going to necessarily take their word as gospel and make what they want, because, I'm the artist. You're here for my work, not for me to ask you. This isn't graphic design job. But I will take into consideration what people really latch onto, what they like. If I produce a couple like timed open editions and people say, oh, I missed it, I'll have to get the next one. Well, I know that's what you like. And if nobody wants that, well, we're not going to waste time minting stuff filling up the blockchain with nonsense if they really want more posters or more apparel and things like that.
That was one of the best tips that Jordan Lyle gave me, which was he was like, if I can give you one tip, like going into like this whole, trying to launch like an MT project or whatever, he was like, and this goes for any type of product really, he's like, never assume that you know what people want. Like, you have to test the waters, you have to put it out there, you have to get feedback, and you have to actually prove that what you think people want, they actually fucking want, right? So to that point, I love the idea of, you kind of, maybe I'll do an open edition, maybe I'll do a time thing, test the water, see what the collectors are into, see what they're vibing with, and then give them more of that. But dude, this was awesome, man. I really appreciate you coming through and like giving us a breakdown. For me and for, I know my co-hosts, we are all here for artists, man. And we love art, and we love talking about art and artists and what they're doing in the space and how they're trying to change up the game. And I love like what you've got going with No Use and the story behind it. And I think it's a really cool approach to using the technology in a proper way, man. So yeah, dude, really appreciate that. Is there any other things that you want to hit before we let you go? Because typically we cut out about 2:45.
Well, sure. Since we were talking about utility and things that people want and all that kind of hoopla. I don't know if you can pull my site up again real quick.
Can.
I'll show it here.
Oh, are you going to talk about pinball?
I'm talking about pinball.
Hell yeah, I was going to ask you about that. It just hit me. I was like, I forgot to ask about pinball.
So that's the loading page, this loading screen, but I'm going to share my screen real quick.
Okay.
Because I tried putting it up there, but again, I'm not a coder either, but here I am making a game because I want you to have nice stuff. Share screen.
And while you do that, I just got to say, I took my son to his first pinball arcade for his birthday a couple months ago, and he loved it. And that made my heart so happy.
That's awesome.
Nice.
But yeah, so this is what I've been working on for y'all.
This is cool.
It's going to be free to play for everybody, but you must be a holder to put your name onto the leaderboard, and through that I'll be able to give prizes, give awards. Like when this thing actually drops, I'm going to, hey, we're back. But when it actually drops, I'm going to have like a week-long competition, and probably top 3 or top 5 will get a few NFTs from No Use scaling up. And I think what I'll do is first place will also get the NoLove airdrop. That way they can get the print and everything like that as well. So something to really kind of look forward to and play. And like I said, it's free to play. If you don't hold a single one, you don't have to worry about it. If you don't have a wallet to even connect, you can just come by and play it anyways. But hopefully you'll want to, because you get more things. And again, that's just from holding one. You don't have to burn a bunch. You don't have to sit there and be a whale to have it. If you want to participate and actually be involved with that game, that aspect, that you are. And if people don't like it, then have to play it. And again, that's why it's free to play. I'm not trying to do some sort of paywall or anything gated that way. But yeah,
that's cool.
There's a little bit of alfalfa in there, man. When people actually care about their work and their product and do things that don't have to be done, right? Like you didn't have to create that really cool pinball machine with all the different art and stuff like that, but it adds a really cool, unique, way to show off the art, and that it shows that you care, to be honest. So.
Yeah,
really cool.
when you do drop that, make sure you let us know. We'll get some retweet love out there, and definitely gonna jump in and play it a little bit myself because I love pinball, man. So this is really cool. We really appreciate you again coming through and sharing about the project, dude. Best of luck to you in the mint and everything. I'm definitely gonna go and grab a couple because I want to make sure I can play the pinball game when it launches. But yeah, dude, we appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate it very much. Thanks for having me on.
Take it
Thanks,
easy.
all fan.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
it,
stopping by, man. Appreciate you.
See ya.
That was cool.
Ronin coming through with great guests, something that never changes.
That was cool.
Yeah.
His project.
Yeah, I really like his vibe, Ronin. Thanks for bringing him by. It's really cool.
Yeah, I love his vibe, dude. We've been chatting through PM and DMs for a while now, and I felt bad because we're supposed to have him on GM Web 3. And then GIF was like, you know what? I'm going to take a break for a week. And I felt so bad because we had to reschedule. But he's such just a genuine dude. Again, super talented artist. For anybody who, was curious or, saw that, saw his work and was really into it, especially if you're coming in and watching this on the replay. His website is NoUseNFTs with an S.xyz for the art project. And then for his like traditional stuff, his, his gear and his clothes and stuff, it's Offhand. Hand is spelled with a V instead of an A. So offhvnd.com. Those are the two websites. Make sure you check them out. Make sure you follow him on Twitter, throw him some love, throw him some OVOTs, and keep up with what he's got going on so you can check out that pinball game later on.
Yeah, when gas gets below whatever it's sitting at right now, I'm definitely going to go over. And
I was going to mint while we were live,
yeah.
but yeah, I was
Yeah, I
like,
looked at
I'll
it.
wait till we're done.
Yep. All right. Buffalo's in the house. Kerry Ross, Easy in Crypto. Orlando, good to see you. Aloha over there on the island. We've got Nick Swervis continuously trying to make wax a thing. Guys, we're going to have to get out of here. We did spend a ton of time here at the beginning of the episode going through kind of a recap of some top projects. I did want to speed through a couple of these things. We did have Quantum Variant come through with Zkswap Finance. So a lot of what we're doing here, I think the narrative in kind of this cycle and what we're kind of leaning into is trying to go to these other chains and find the projects that are doing interesting things. Not only the airdrops, airdrops are nice too, but that is going to be what's here, right? So you have Zkswap, that's going to be one of the DeFi platforms here, the dexes here on the ZK, and I still don't know this. So ZK, like, what is the actual protocol, Biggie Poppins? Because I haven't got into what Polygon is doing. Is literally the Polygon platform now just kind of being rolled up into ZKs, or is there a whole nother protocol for these ZKs?
No, from what I understand, Polygon is transitioning into a zero knowledge proof protocol, right? And so I was unaware. See, this is what happens when you go on holidays. I was totally unaware of this, but thank God for Quantum. The cat caught that. I don't know. I find ZK rollups very beneficial to the system, right? And I don't know where optimism is heading long term, but I can definitely see a long term future for ZK rollups. So that's something I will definitely be tinkering with too.
I appreciate you answering my question there on whether this is a whole nother protocol or this is just an upgrade here, kind of a fork into this system. So Zkswap Finance, again, all of these dexes exist on all these different chains. This seems to be one of the more popular ones, according to Quantum Variant, who's giving us financial advice. No, I'm just kidding. This is not financial advice, but apparently this is leading up to rewards for a potential airdrop as well. Again, do your own research. Kind of getting through the rest of this, I did show you right before I brought up Zkswap Finance, which I could drop in chat now, that Blast has passed 1.1 billion. There's nothing here, folks. There's a native yield. There, people are earning ETH as well as Blast rewards, the Blast points, but there's nothing else here. And there's 1.1 billion TVL. I wonder where that puts it in TVL. I would love to check this out.
DeFi Llama, bro. Dude, I'm curious. Like, what do y'all think though? Like with these deposit to, stake to earn ETH, right? Like you got, I think the most popular ones, right, are Blast, Manta, and Eigenlayer, but they're no secret either, right? Like I think there's a substantial amount of people using the protocol with the same intention that everybody else is, right? And I'm curious to see what the value of those airdrops will be. I know Manta touts that substantial amount of the whole existence of tokens, their tokenomics, like make it substantial or at least potentially very valuable. I'm not sure if Blast or Eigenlayer have released that information yet, but it seems that if so many people are depositing into these protocols expecting these rewards, it remains to be seen like just how valuable they're going to be, right?
Are you talking can you rephrase the question real quick, because I was kind of looking at DeFi Llama there, like what are you saying, like the amount of rewards people are going to get?
What I'm saying is that since everybody knows about these rewards already and is partaking in these things, how valuable are they going to get? Because I do feel like sometimes us degens, right? Like we saw the Cheeto airdrop, and now everybody wants to expect and write in stone that whatever thing that they're farming now is going to give them $20,000.
If you are putting
Right.
if you are putting like $500 into Blast, thinking that you're going to get this ridiculous amount, I have news for you. You're not, when there's 1.1 billion locked up in there. The one thing that they are doing though, Biggie, to counterpoint that is that you're getting native ETH yield as well, right? Like you're essentially just earning like you would in probably like a Lido Finance, something like that. That's like one of the things that you're doing at the same time of earning Blast tokens. So yeah, dude, that's going to be a crazy unlock in February. I don't know what's going to happen.
And I want to see which one's going to be the most valuable one, right? In the end.
Biggie was actually bringing up DeFi Llama here, so I pulled it up for you. I did it for you. Lido taking the top spot, 21 billion locked up in Lido. In different, I'm sure in different ways. Maker, Finance, Aave has 6 billion. Uniswap, the one everybody knows about, has 3.7 billion locked up in its protocol. Some others that you might know, Pancake Swap has 1.6. Yeah, this is, I mean, it's going to come out of the, what you have to read from this is Blast is going to come out of the gates as just having the most liquidity I think that any protocol has had just on its release. I would even love to see what Aave came out with when it first launched, or maybe Uniswap makes more sense to kind of pull up. Let's go out all the way back in the day to DeFi summer, and you could see August 31st, 2020, it had about 1 billion when it first launched. So if that gives you any indication of what's happening there. So September it had 1.6 billion. So yeah. Sheesh.
Wow.
Yeah, Marty McFly saying pro Blast here. I did a little bit of degenning here with Crypto Buffalo overnight on Optimism as well as the base chain. I don't think we have time to go through that today. I will say this base chain narrative continues to heat up for me with Coinbase's backing. Hopefully they put their full weight, because basically Coin's up 440% on the year. That's a lot of money that they can back up their protocol should they choose to do so. There might be some regulatory concern, you know, of Brian coming out and supporting the chain, but Coinbase is doing extremely well even in the equities market.
That's crazy.
And lastly, I've got this one. I'll drop the link in chat. This is a gaming project here. Admittedly, I don't know much about BloodLoop, but there is going to be a whitelist for 10. It looks like 1088. So 1,088 NFTs will be dropped to a whitelist, essentially. So I believe it's a free mint. It's going to get you access to their token as well. This is going to be absolutely oversubscribed.
They already have some assets, right, Q? Like they have like a PFP. I don't know if it's revealed yet, but I recall them dropping something, and it like quickly went from like 10 AVAX to 30 or something like that. But I believe you can check on like one of those AVAX NFT marketplaces. They already have an NFT out, so if you guys are bullish, it might be wise to kind of track that NFT, because I imagine they're going to get a substantial amount or multiplier of that token.
Yeah, interesting. I don't have the answer here. This is on the Avalanche chain, by the way, but it is saying you'll need an SEM capsule. I was assuming the SEM capsule was done by completing the actions right on the website here that you're linked out to, but maybe the SEM is the SEM capsule potentially the NFT.
Maybe.
Maybe it is.
Yeah.
I think if you look in their Twitter, you might be able to be linked to the marketplace where you can see the NFTs, and it's not that many too. I forget where I saw this project, and I checked it out, and it looks very interesting, very promising. I do know there's quite a bit of people in it that are bullish.
Okay. All right, folks. We'll probably bring this up tomorrow. I know we're about an hour and a half in, so one of our longer episodes here. You guys have been amazing all the way through. FoQ is saying Kiba Inu on Sol, but I know Buffalo's been pulling up some tokens here. I believe on Solana. I think he was in contract overnight. He had some crazy stuff he was getting into, but it's just good to see the Buff back in the saddle. Honestly, just degenning again. This time
Like
we'll
to see
sell.
his name popping up in chat.
This time is different though, Ronin, right? This
time
time,
is
this
different.
cycle is different.
It's different. Yep, absolutely. I feel educated, and I feel much more knowledgeable, and I feel much more prepared for like what the hell's coming. So absolutely, it's going to be different.
All right, we're moisturized and in our lane here on NFT Live. Biggie Poppins, let's go around the circle real quick. Any last words before we head out?
Man, I didn't even get to say GM to you both. You know, GM Ronin, GNQ, GM, everybody that's in the chat. I can't see it because I'm on my phone. But honestly, I tune in because I love this community, and I'm just addicted and so hyped about everything that's coming. I'm glad I didn't miss. Thank you for that guest, Ronin. That was phenomenal. I will definitely be minting that too. OVOT fam, I'll be here tomorrow and day after. Well, maybe the day after not, because then I will be traveling. But it'll be back to regular scheduling by next week for sure. But any chance I get, I'm gonna be hopping in here and just saying hello, man. It's been awesome. OVOT fam.
All right, and Carrie is saying GM to you, Biggie Poppins, as well as the rest of us. Ronin, you'll get the last words. But before
Love
we
you,
leave,
Carrie.
folks, if you loved the episode today, please leave a like on that YouTube episode. We need more to get more folks hearing about what we're doing. If you liked Offhand, if you liked Ronin, Biggie Poppins, myself, if you liked our takes, or if you didn't, even if you didn't, you can leave a like. We'll see. But Ronin, let's head out, man. Our vibe, our tribe. You got the last word.
Heck yeah, awesome. Easy, appreciate you coming in, dude. Good luck on your show. To everybody else who jumped in, we appreciate you so much. Thank you for all the love. Thanks for all the comments. That keeps us going. Man, chat was lit today. We appreciate all of you. Offhand, thank you for coming by and talking about the project. We really appreciate that as well. And yeah, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. Outside of that, we will see you tomorrow. That's our vibe, our tribe. Holler.